Deal, fighting resumed.
Okay, and then on gas prices, how much longer will Americans continue to see these high gas prices?
Well, they're not very high. If you look at what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon with the danger that entails. So the gas prices have come down very much over the last 3-4 days.
Still?
I know, and that's what ABC says. But the fact is that if you look at the stock market's up, everything's doing really well. And the big thing we have to do is we have to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, because if they do, you want to talk about problems, you'd have problems. So very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive. Very complicated subject. It's. I don't think we're waiting. I think we're moving very fast. It could happen pretty quickly.
How long you could sustain the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz?
The what?
How long you could keep the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz?
We're doing very well with the blockade. It's very routine for us.
And like I said, the whole mishap with the blockade is, one, China was able to get through the blockade. And then two, I mean, look, see, China is very happy that I am permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I am doing it for them also and the world. And what you got to understand is this is cope. So pretty much China already made it through, tested our gangster, and they was able to get their oil. Well, I think it was actually their natural gas. And China, they get most of their natural gas and oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. So when we put on this blockade, they pretty much told us, I bet it's not for us. And they kind of proved that. And Trump is now saving face by pretty much saying, oh, no, we always had this worked out with China. Don't worry, they can go through. But everybody else, though, no, you guys can't. Y'all be held accountable. But not China. So, yes, they have agreed not to send Iran weapons. And this is what we're doing it for. We're pretty much letting China through, letting them get their oil and stuff from Iran, because we know that's their biggest buyer, and that's where they get a good amount of their oil. So they're pretty much saying, look, you can go ahead and get your stuff, but don't send Iran weapons. And trust me, we're just praying on the trust me bro on this one. I'm just going to be real with you. So we're just hoping that China just holds faithful to that.
The Navy is incredible. And I think the blockade is doing very well. It's no ship is even thinking about entering. That no ship is going past our Navy.
Why are you fighting with the Pope? And are you worried it's upsetting your?
No, I don't. I have to do what's right. The Pope has to understand that. Very simple. I have nothing against the Pope. His brother's MAGA all the way. I like his brother, Louis. I'm not fighting with him. The Pope made a statement. He says Iran can have a nuclear weapon.
No, he didn't.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Come on, he did not say that. Trump, bro, really, dog? He said the Pope said Iran can have a nuclear weapon. No. It's just anytime somebody disagrees with you in this war, your immediate response is like, oh, so you're saying that Iran can have a nuclear weapon? No, nobody's saying that. We're just saying that, one, Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. And if it was about their nuclear enrichment program, we had a good eye under that, under the JCPOA. So you could have got Iran under that instead of going through this whole war. But anytime somebody brings that up to any of the neocons, they're like, oh, so you want Iran to have a weapon? No, I'm just saying there's a different route we could have took so Iran didn't have a weapon that was a bit more diplomatic, to where we didn't have to get into a full-blown conflict, with the conservative or what the neocons call it. But we're just going to call what it is, a war.
And if the Pope looked at the 42,000 people that were killed over the last 2 or 3 months.
Oh, make sure to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. All right.
As a protester with no weapons, no nothing, I mean, you take a look at that. So I can disagree with the Pope. I have a right to disagree. I have a right to disagree with the Pope.
What do you say to people who see that, who see your criticism?
You can't have, look, nothing. I have no disagreement with the fact the Pope can say what he wants, and I want him to say what he wants, but I can disagree. I think that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. If they do, the whole world would be at jeopardy. The Middle East will be blown up and the whole world will be at jeopardy.
Oh, wow.
We're very close to making a deal. That'll be a great thing. The Pope has to understand Iran has killed more
I
than.
wonder how much people truly believe that if Iran had a nuke today, that they would just start nuking people in the Middle East. Like, I really wonder how much people truly believe that, because, bro, I feel like you're a little bit too gullible if that's the case. You really think Iran is just going to start nuking countries just because they have a nuke? I mean, bro, Iran has hypersonic missiles. They could sit there and decimate these countries. Well, they could have did this like 10 years ago, but they didn't. So, bro, we just figuring out now that they got missiles that can go like 2,000 miles. And what you guys been saying, that if Iran had the capability to strike Europe, what you're saying that they do, that they'd have did it. Well, guess what? It seems like Iran been had that capability. They didn't do it. So I'm sorry, but just to sit there and say that, oh, well, you know, as soon as they get a nuke, they're going to nuke us, right? No, actually. Now, actually, as soon as they get a nuke, we're going to leave them the F alone. And that's just the truth. And then no nuke is going to be fired. And then we're just going to forget about Iran, just like we forgot about North Korea.
42,000 people over the last few months. Think of it. Protesters without guns, without anything. They were totally unarmed protesters. The Pope has to understand that. This is the real world. It's a nasty world. But as far as the Pope and saying what he wants, he can do that. Now, I know the Pope's brother. He is a big MAGA person. He's got MAGA all over his house. His name is Louis. He's actually.
You guys got to understand, like, to use a nuke in your own area is absolutely retarded. Like, the nuclear fallout that you in that area is going to go through, trust me, it wouldn't be in Iran's best interest or nobody's best interest to use a nuke on their neighbors. Like, it just wouldn't work out. Like, that's why even people look at Israel crazy when they threaten to use a nuke on their neighbors, because they're like, you know, that's going to affect you too. So I'm sorry, but like, honestly, logically, it just wouldn't happen. It just would not happen. I mean, you could say they could use it to bully their neighbors, but Iran's bullying their neighbors with missiles and drones right now. They don't need a nuke to do that.
Great guy. And I'm sure the Pope is a great guy. I haven't met him. But I disagree with the Pope. If the Pope would allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon, you can't do that. No, not really. What?
I would like to ask you regarding congratulations for the 10th war.
Yeah, it's very exciting. With Lebanon, it's very exciting. I think we're going to have a deal. We're going to have a meeting, first time in 44 years. And Lebanon will be meeting with Israel, and they're probably going to do it at the White House.
When do you think, President, when do you think they would?
Over the next week or two.
I'm just going to be real with you. Look, any ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel is going most likely to be broken, because they've broken ceasefires with Lebanon, or AKA Hezbollah, before. Actually, when they attacked them, let's be real, they was breaking the ceasefire then with Lebanon and Hezbollah. So Israel, they don't really abide by no ceasefires. And if you hear what Israel wants for this ceasefire, they literally want to annex southern Lebanon. They want a security buffer that's pretty much taking their land and displacing about millions of people. Yeah, they want to displace millions of people. Now telling them that they can't come back from the security buffer zone that they want. And then they also want a complete annexation from the security buffer zone all the way up to the Litani River, which separates northern Lebanon and southern Lebanon, aka they want all of southern Lebanon.
The next week, and do you think this agreement can reach?
I do. I think they're going to. I think we will have an agreement between Lebanon, and they're going to take care of Hezbollah. But they're going to be working on Hezbollah right now. But we'll have an agreement between Israel, very importantly, and Lebanon.
Man, I don't know about that, Gold. I don't know about that. And my bro, our nukes are way more powerful than what they were and when we dropped in Japan. 10 times more powerful. So I don't know if we can sit there and trust that. I mean, just because we found a way to compact them doesn't mean we found a way to just, I don't know, cancel out the fallout. Actually, they're more powerful and probably going to cause more fallout. Shit, us just testing nuclear bombs have caused a certain amount of damage to the environment that we cannot reverse. So this is why, like, using a nuke is low-key, like, out of the question for Iran.
Will you support?
I mean, they can have it as a threat, but I mean, maybe as a Samson option or something like that, like Israel has. But I don't see it for them just using it as a way to bully countries. And like I said, they're doing that with missiles and drones, and everybody's kind of pissing themselves right now over the Strait of Hormuz because they can't get their oil through, and their economy is collapsing. They're running out of energy. I mean, and like I said, they're just doing this with missiles and drones.
Japanese army as well.
I would, yeah.
Iran's going to
Oh, guys, let's even get 100 likes by double tapping that screen and getting those likes up. We got about 200 y'all in here. Appreciate the support, by the way. But let's make sure we're double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's go.
Ceasefire? I mean, how do you even?
They're all.
Oh, guys, any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements? You can go ahead and send it in the super chat or become a member. Because if I see it from a member, then I'll go ahead and answer it.
It's a very nice little package for about a week, and we're not going to have lots of bombs dropping, and we're going to see if we can make peace between Lebanon and Israel.
And this comes around the Pope, Mr. President, because there was a group of bishops that did put out a statement saying the Pope isn't merely exercising his opinion, he's preaching.
All right, well then shout out to my man Molotov Juice Box. He's pretty much backing up my man Gold, saying that no, they have a less radiation fallout, but the damage is still there though. And I'm just saying, I'm like, I don't know how that honestly makes sense, because if the damage is still there and the radiation is still going to be within that damage and it's going to be greater, then I'm just like, huh? It kind of sounds like they're just BSing us on that one. I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to get, you're going to have to explain the science of that to me. How is there more destruction but less fallout when, I don't know. Like I said, I ain't a nuclear scientist. I'll look into it, though. I can understand the physics of it, of course, and the splitting of the atoms, but how that works out, no, I don't know about that.
The gospel.
But I'll take your word on it.
Well, I want him to preach the gospel. I'm all about the gospel, but I also know that you cannot let.
Oh, and one other point though, and then I'll let the video play out. Who says that they're even going for a modern nuke? Who says they might not just try to get the same type of nuclear weapon, like as an atom bomb? You know, that like why do all the extra stuff if they're just trying to rush to a bomb? So who says they're even going to build a sophisticated bomb like ours?
A certain country, which is a very mean-spirited country, have a nuclear weapon. If they did, they would use it, and I think they'd use it quickly, and they would kill many millions of people. So, you know, the Pope could disagree with me on that, but certainly we're allowed to have that. I'm all about the gospel. I'm about it as much as anybody can be, but I can't allow, as President of the United States of America, I can't allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And here's the story. They won't have. They've already agreed not to have. That's good news, and I think the Pope will be very happy.
The Federal Reserve should wait and see about this Iran war before lowering interest rates. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree. I think we should have lower interest rates.
Iran's going to execute 4 more protesters reportedly, including the first woman protester. What do you tell Iran?
Well, tell that to the Pope. What do you say? Tell that to the Pope.
You want to patch it up with the Pope?
That Iran is going to. Did you just hear that? Iran is going to execute 4 people, including Trump.
The Lebanese love you so much.
Lebanon. Do you extend the ceasefire? What makes you extend that?
I don't know if we're going to have to, but if we need to, I would do that.
Wait, that's important. Sorry.
Airlines. What are you telling the airlines and the oil companies about the way you're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz?
If you look at the oil and if you look at the price we're paying, it's about half what people thought it would be if you did what I had to do. We had to take this journey to the Middle East in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon. There would have been, if we didn't hit it with the B-2 bombers, or if I didn't kill the Barack Hussein Obama deal, the nuclear deal, which was a disaster, we would have had nuclear weapons exploding in the Middle East and beyond. I believe I've been able to stop that. I think we have a very successful negotiation going on right now. And I think it'll be, if it happens, it'll be announced fairly soon. And that'll give us free oil, free Hormuz Strait. Everything will be nice. And I think your oil price will go down to lower than what it was before. And I think a lot of good things will happen.
Just for clarity,
Good, I hope so.
Send the ceasefire if there is
We'll
no
see.
deal.
I don't know that we'll have to. Ideally, but if I needed to, I would.
The Lebanese people love you so much. What do you think? The Lebanese people love you so much. What's your message for them? And you will visit Lebanon after?
Yeah, I will do that. At the right time, I would certainly go there.
You know, Putin doesn't want to stop it. He keeps bombing Ukraine. You think this war has the potential to go on for years more?
Here's the problem, guys. Oil's not going to go down until we see, let me show you guys here. Look, guys, oil ain't going down until this goes to 60. All right, guys, I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. Oil ain't going down. I'm going to go ahead and mainstream this for you until you see WTI crude and Brent crude fall back down to 60. When that falls back down to 60, oils go back down. Bro, if it's at 70, 80, 90 like this, it ain't going back down. The only reason our oil was going down in the first place is because it was at $67 per barrel before the war on February 28th. So if we don't get back down to that, gas prices keep going up. And that's going to drive into inflation, which already has. Like I said, we was at 2.4, I believe, last month. Now we're at 3.3% inflation. Guys, 2.4 to 3.3. Like, does this war need to really carry on any longer for, honestly, me to be vindicated on how bad this is going to be on the economy? Like, does it really need to go on any longer? Like, how long are you guys going to keep supporting, keep pretending like this is not hurting the American people?
Well, it should have never started. If I were president, the war in Ukraine never would have started with Russia. But it's going on. Hopefully, it'll get over soon.
The First Lady came out last week and said she had no link to Jeffrey Epstein.
Who did?
The First Lady, Melania Trump.
She had none.
Why did she come out and say that last week?
Because the fake news was saying she did, and she had none, and I think that's been proven. It bothered her that the fake news was being fake news, so she just wanted to clarify.
Were you surprised?
Who's taking care of Hezbollah? Do you think that they are destroying the deal that you are trying to make?
We're going to see how it all works out, but they'll be working and coordinating. If you know Lebanon, right? So they'll be working with Hezbollah.
If they fired Jay Powell,
interested in acquiring Iranian oil?
What?
Are you still interested in acquiring Iranian oil after this?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we have a very good relationship with Iran right now, as hard as it is to believe. And I think it's a combination of about 4 weeks of bombing and a very powerful blockade. The blockade is maybe more powerful than the bombing, if you want to know the truth.
Are you going to make the Arab countries pay a portion of all of the costs?
I think they'll make that. I think they're going to make that contribution. I think the Arab countries, because we've done a lot. I think.
Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. And let me show you exactly what I mean, because a lot of people are kind of playing stupid in the chat right now, and that's fine. That's fine. You can be in denial, but right here's Brent Crude, and I want you guys to understand. You kind of see, and let's go to here, February 28th, right before the war. Now, it was at $72. You got to understand that before that, it was low-key trading at that 70 and 60, actually even lower sometimes. Goddamn ads. But yeah. And this is why we were seeing low gas prices. It was hovering around the 60s and 70s. And then, of course, it shot up during the 12-day war. So as you see, war does always affect gas prices. And after that, like I said, right back around to that 60s. So when we're out of that 60, 70 range, we're skyrocketing all the way up to 80, 90. How are we going to see any type of price relief? When the only time we see price relief is around that 60 and 70 ballpark. All right.
Did make a contribution toward the cost.
United Airlines, American Airlines,
Not been involved.
The deal of Lebanon is the Iranian assets without any condition. If you make a deal,
We're going to see what happens, but I think we're very close to making a deal with Iran. You'll be the first to know, but I think we have a chance. And if that happens, oil goes way down, prices go way down, inflation goes way down, and you're going to have much more importantly than even that, you won't have nuclear holocaust. Thank you.
what's happening now?
Well, possibly, but I think a deal could be reached. Possibly. I would be foolish not to. I mean, if we're close to a deal, would I extend? Yeah, I would do that. But we're close to a deal. We're getting along very well with the new Iranian leaders. It really is its regime change. These are people that are a lot different than we were dealing with at the beginning. As you know, they're no longer around. They're no longer with us. But we have a very good relationship, and I think there's a very good chance we're going to make a deal. Also, Israel and Lebanon, I think there's a good chance that they'll make a good deal. So,
Any reaction to Russia's overnight attack on Kiev? They killed 20 more Ukrainians.
I think it's terrible.
Are you going to send any cabinet member to China before your visit?
Well, I have.
Oh, guys, if you want to go ahead and try to get the call-in line open, you can feel free to also send a Venmo as well. Whatever you send towards Venmo doubles your support towards the call-in line. And also, if you have any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, feel free to super chat it in. But don't forget, too, double tap that screen and like the video. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
A great relationship, as you know, with President Xi, and I look forward to being there. We have a very special relationship. So I look forward to being in China.
How's the preparation going? Thank you. Mr. President, you impose sanctions on Rwanda because they keep violating the Washington Accord.
I do.
But President Kagame just said he don't care about sanctions, and he said he will not withdraw from Congo. His troops will continue in Congo. What is your reaction to
We're
that?
going to look into it very strongly, but they do have very big sanctions.
Mr. President, there was a G20 meeting in Washington today. Why did you invite Poland instead of South Africa?
Well, Poland's a great country. We like it a lot. We're friends with Poland. The president is doing a great job, so we invited him.
I saw your Truth Social posts about Bruce Blakeman in New York. He's being denied up to $7 million of public campaign funds in New York by partisan Democrats. Have you seen that, and what's your reaction to it?
I can just tell you this. Bruce Blakeman is running for governor. He will be a great governor if he wins. I don't know that he wins or not because it's New York. And, you know, people cheat on elections and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But
oh, man. Oh, yeah. Speaking of elections, we also lost a special election again where Republican lost to a Democrat. So once again, guys, it seems like this blue wave these Dems have been kind of fear-mongering us on might actually be happening. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull up that special election there. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy what's going on. Like these guys are winning special elections back to back, and they're beating Republicans, by the way.
Bruce Blakeman is a great, great gentleman. As you know, he comes from Nassau County, which is a Democrat area, and he wins by a landslide all the time. And if Bruce Blakeman gets in, your taxes are going to go way down, and a lot of good things are going to happen, including cleanliness and all of the things that you want to see. I know him very well. He's been a great leader, a great executive in Nassau County. Even though it's largely Democrat, he wins in a landslide. Everybody loves him. He's a very talented guy, very great politician, and I think he probably has a chance. If Bruce Blakeman gets in, your taxes are going way down, and you know what else is going down? Crime.
President Trump, there are these 10 missing scientists with access to classified stuff, nuclear material, aerospace. They've all gone missing or turned up dead in the last couple months. Based on what you've been briefed, what do you think is happening here? And do you think that this is connected or totally random?
Well, I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half. I just left a meeting on that subject. So pretty serious stuff, but we're going to be hopefully, I don't know, coincidence, if you whatever you want to call it. But some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it over the next short term.
It's impossible that some foreign adversary is in the United States scooping these people up.
Well, you know, Biden had open borders. It wasn't very hard to get here, but we've gotten many of them out. You know, we've caught many, many people, many very bad people, including.
All right, here it is. So let's get into USA Today. Yep. Let's see here. Democrat Anita Majaya, let's see, wins New Jersey special election. And yes, she ended up beating a Republican, the Republican Joe Hathaway, a council member for Randolph, New Jersey. And this was so crazy about this. This lady's win, yes, her win further narrows House Republicans' tight majority in the U.S. House. I mean, like, guys, do you see the problem here? This is why I said we need to start focusing on these domestic policies instead of what's going on overseas, because it's biting us in the ass. And I know y'all hate to hear this, but like you guys are literally choosing war with Iran, and you're gonna pretty much allow the open borders, 9 months abortions, men and women's sports, and you're gonna allow all that for war with Iran. Like that's what you're sacrificing this for. Like MAGA, understand that you're sacrificing all of this gains, all the economic gains, just to put the Democrats back in power for war with Iran. Like, if you're able to reconcile with that and you think it's worth it, then, I mean, good for you. At least you're happy. But me, on the other hand, no, not so much. I wish I could be as happy as you.
Thousands of murderers that we've taken out of our country, thousands of drug lords that we've taken out of our country, hundreds of thousands of prisoners that were let into the U.S. that we've taken out of our country. as far as the scientists are concerned, we'll probably have a pretty good answer.
And I know New Jersey's not a blue state. The problem is it was held by a Republican. That's the problem. Like, that seat was held by a Republican, aka in that district, it was mainly Republicans, and somehow he lost out to a Democrat. That's what y'all not trying to see here. Like, the voter turnout for Republicans are going down as Trump is further spiraling down, sadly. And there's going to be terrible voter turnout. And the Dems, as you see, they're just doubling down because, you know, they believe Trump's this outrageous dictator, and they all now need to double down on their support, while we're kind of seeing Trump kind of turn his back on us. We're like, well, damn, do we even want to vote for these Republicans anymore? And let's be real, most of these Republicans are worse than Trump. They're not even doing anything for real. Like, bro, they're literally working with the Dems right now at this point, guys. Let's check out Newsweek. MAGA erupts as Republicans pushes to offer a path to undocumented migrants. I mean, bro, the writing's on the wall, guys. It's right there in front of us, sadly. I'm not being a doomsdayer. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing out here. And it's not looking good. And any analyst would tell you, bro, this is not looking good for the Republicans. But we don't want to look at it. We kind of just want to defend war with Iran right now. Defending the indefensible is tough, ain't it, guys?
Over the next week.
And with the peace talks in Iran, does it have to be a big deal all at once, or would you accept a little deal to start?
Oh, guys, and don't forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate your support, by the way. But let's get more people in the conversation by double tapping that screen. Oh, guys, and if you got any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud. Just $2 and up. Or if you want to support the show, just send a gift. All right.
Well, I have a little deal. I can make a little deal. I want to get it done and get back to keep going with low. You know, our pricing is doing great. As soon as the war is over, we're going to be lower than we were 2 or 3 years ago. So I want to get back to that. We had to do something.
Yo, I did see that. Now, I did see the former lieutenant governor admitted to want to legalize post-birth abortions. Yeah. Yep. Killed himself. Randall Northman. Keep him in your prayers, guys, because he killed himself and his wife. Like, yo, when I read that, I was like, ah, damn. Okay. I wonder what the backstory is there. But yeah, keep the guy in your prayers, him and his wife.
We had to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. And we're at that. They've agreed to that. They've totally agreed to that. They've agreed to almost everything. So maybe if they can get to the table, there's a difference. They agree. They're going to get to the table with a pen. We'll have that over with. And then we can focus on our great economy. And also, you know, I inherited the highest prices in the history of our country, the worst inflation in the history of our country. I'll get it down to a very low number. We had it to a very low number, and it's still low. But the most important thing right now is to make sure Iran can never have a nuclear weapon.
Would you ever go to Pakistan to seal the deal yourself?
I would go to Pakistan, yeah. Pakistan has been great. They've been so good. Islamabad, I might go. Yeah. If the deal is signed in Islamabad, I might go. The field marshal has been great. The prime minister has been really great in Pakistan. So I might go. They want me to go.
The First Lady last week called on Congress to further look into and uncover the truth on the Epstein files, the Epstein saga. Do you believe that there should be a public hearing for more of these Epstein survivors?
Well, I'm okay with it. I think we've had a lot of public hearings. I'm okay with it. But I understand that the women didn't want to go under oath. That's what I heard. That the women, the victims or whatever, they refused to go under oath, which was a little surprising. Now, Melania felt strongly about it because she was accused of that I met her through Epstein, but it turned out to be totally false. It was a false story.
Yeah.
Ceasefire.
Well, it is nice to hear, you know, Melania Trump pretty much speaking out, going like, look, this actually needs to be investigated. People are spreading lies about me, and I don't appreciate it. So I'd rather this whole case get blown wide open so everything comes out. Because let's be real. I mean, if I was Melania, I'd be like, yo, blame your husband. Tell his asses, tell the DOJ to stop playing around. Because if we had the full Epstein files, unredacted, you wouldn't be going through this. Trump wouldn't be going through the accusations. Melania Trump wouldn't be going through these accusations. I'm sorry. Like, y'all would be able to avoid this if you actually shown us transparency. So I'm sorry. I just can't feel bad for you guys right now.
Also include Iraq and region.
Are we talking about the one with Lebanon?
Lebanon, Iraq, and
well, the whole thing. So we just made a deal with Lebanon. As of 2 hours from now, we have a ceasefire with Israel and Lebanon, and that'll be great. And they'll be meeting, probably coming to the White House over the next 4 or 5 days.
Have the Epstein
And that'll be
survivors?
the first time they've met in 44 years, which is pretty unneighborly when considering they're neighbors. But there's a really good chance that that'll work out with Lebanon and Israel. I met with through the telephone with the president of Lebanon, who's a really good guy, highly respected, and with Bibi. And I think there's a chance we'll be meeting right here in the not too distant.
Have the Epstein survivors received justice? Do you think the Epstein survivors will receive justice?
Israel and Lebanon have tried to make peace before. What's going to be the difference this time?
Me. I'm the big difference. Me.
So Australia has announced, Mr. President, about taxes. States like Virginia, North Carolina, and New York, Democratic states, are looking at raising taxes. Is that going to take away from the tax?
No, that was hilarious. In Virginia, the lady ran on affordability and raised taxes. So this is why I kind of say why Dems can't talk about affordability, because you guys run the most unaffordable cities and states in America. So when you guys talk about affordability, I laugh. I really do. Now, when Republicans talk about affordability, I give them a bit more credit, but the problem is they're too busy overseas. And this is why they're low-key, like, kind of seeing bad numbers when it comes to affordability, because they refuse to focus on it for some reason, and they rather focus on ventures overseas. Like, I don't get it. But trust me, when it comes to affordability, Dems, you definitely ain't the answer. I mean, Mondani had to raise bus fare and taxes. Let's see, Spamberger in Virginia. Abigail Spamberger in Virginia, she had to raise taxes across the board. So I'm sorry, guys, but Dems, you are not the answer when it comes to affordability. But if you have a plan, I'd hear it out. But you just can't sit there and bitch about Trump.
What's happened? No, because, no tax on tips. I'm going over no tax on tips today. That's why I'm going to Nevada. I'm going to Arizona. But this is sort of a no tax on tips. What's happening is people are finding out that in their tax returns, they're getting a big refund, much bigger than they thought. So it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. I think wait. I think it's going to be amazing.
Are those the
but
guys, look, it don't matter if I'm MAGA, Democrat, leftist, America first. I'm going to tell you what it is, regardless of my political affiliation. Like, I'm just going to tell you what it is. And actually, honestly, I actually did support Trump's agenda when it came to deporting undocumented immigrants, the tariffs, and bringing back manufacturing. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, low-key, that it was working. It's low-key worked. If you actually look at all the manufacturing projects that's starting up across the U.S., I got to give Trump that. If you look at all the immigrants that self-deported through the app, which was over 1 million, he's actually doing pretty good on immigration. Now, when it comes to affordability, which a lot of Americans voted for him for, and no new wars, he's definitely fucking up on that. And I'm just keeping it real.
You look at what they're doing in New York, in California, they're raising taxes, and they're driving people out. It's a shame.
Australia.
I'm here with you guys. I say I'm more America first because, I kind of align more with the Thomas Massey, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson crowd. And, Trump created this division. Not us, but Trump created this division. He said now it's Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, Ben Shapiro. That's MAGA now. And if that's MAGA, then all right, y'all got it. Y'all can have that. I'm going to go step over on America first where shit makes sense, where they actually mean America first and not just disguise it as America first, but it's actually Israel first.
Australia has just announced that it's increasing its defense spending to 3%. You've been asking for 3.5%. Are you satisfied?
We're going to see what happens. But on defense spending, look, we built the greatest military anywhere in the world. There's nobody even close. All you have to do is take a look at the blockade. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. That blockade is the best thing. And I'll tell you something. I think the blockade has been more powerful than the bombs. The bombs were powerful, and it weakened them. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anything. They have no leaders. But their new leaders, the ones that have replaced them, it's a regime change. They are much more... Trump. I think, Frank.
No, it's not a regime change. Just because you kill the Ayatollah and there's a new Ayatollah who's more of a hardliner, that's not a regime change. I'm sorry, Trump. You could kill a whole succession of these guys, and there's still going to be a new succession. These guys are most likely going to be more hardliners. So honestly, you're blowing up all the moderates for the hardliners who actually don't trust us even more. I'm sorry, but like, nah, that's not regime change, guys. And shout out to my man Bobby M. He says you're against illegal immigration, but pro H1B, but pro H1B1. You mean H1B visas? No, I'm not pro H1B visas. Honestly, I'll be real with you. That just undermines American scholars in the tech industry and in the medical as well. So really, we need to get rid of those H1B visas because we're importing from India, and this is what kills me about it. They'll have their colleges only for 2 years in tech, while we're making our students go through 4 years and carrying on more debt just for them to get put in the back of the line for these guys coming from India or China. So no, trust me, it's the most egregious thing ever done against American scholars, and I think it should be stopped immediately. And don't we got enough of these Indians and Chinese? I don't hate them. I'm just gonna be real. We got enough of them.
More intelligent and more moderate, but we have a real chance to make a deal very soon with Iran.
It's on Australia.
Shout out to my man Bobby for starting us off. Appreciate that question, my man. Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation. Let's get to 100 likes. Appreciate the support, guys.
On Australia, Mr. President, you asked for 3.5% increase, like 5% you did with NATO. Australia has only gone to 3%. Are you satisfied with that decision? Would you
Well, I'm not happy with Australia because they were not
specifically?
they were not there when we asked them to be there. So Australia,
What did you ask for?
Australia was another one. They were not there, having to do with Hormuz, the Hormuz.
What do you mean by that?
So I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
But why specifically? Do you still have a good relationship with the Australian Prime Minister?
What message do you think the ceasefire in Lebanon sends to the UK and other European allies who chose not to get involved in the war?
Well, you know, we spend trillions and trillions of dollars on NATO. And when I asked them to get involved on a much smaller situation, which is Hormuz and Iran, they weren't there for us. Remember what I said. They weren't there. None of them. They weren't there. So we were there on Ukraine. I mean, we shouldn't have been. It would have never happened if I were president. But nevertheless, when they've had problems over the years, we were there. When we asked them to get involved on a very minor skirmish by comparison to what it could be, they weren't there. So I don't think they'd be there for a large skirmish, and therefore I think they've got themselves a problem.
Do your policies like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime show that the Democrat Party is no longer the party of the working class and the Republican Party is under your leader?
Hey, nah, bro, I'll be real with you. That no tax on overtime, it did wonders on people's tax returns. Like it definitely did wonders. I'll tell you this, it brought down my tax bill. I'll tell you that right now, man. I was happy about that. So I'll give Trump that one. And there's a reason why people's tax returns went up, because a lot of people work overtime, and an overtime premium that people got in their tax return really helped out. So I'll give Trump that. That actually helped out in the end.
I love this question. I know. This is the greatest guy. Look how handsome he is. What a great guy he is.
I ain't gonna lie. Not a lot of people talked about that, but no, that no tax on overtime definitely did boost people's tax return and put more money in their pocket.
The Democrats don't know what they're doing. They want to tax everybody out of business. They want men playing in women's sports. They don't want voter ID. They don't know what they're doing. We've had an unbelievable run, and the people getting their.
Oh, and shout out to my man Bobby M. He said that's what Trump is all about. H-1Bs, his tech buddies. No, you're actually right in a way. Honestly, what was it? It was that one interview that he had with, I believe it was Laura Ingraham, and she was kind of getting on his ass about, yo, you're accepting 600,000 Chinese students? Like, what are you doing? We're supposed to be against this H-1B visas. And this is where this was like kind of the beginning of the end of MAGA right there, where Trump was starting to kind of, shift away from America first. I'm just like, what are you doing putting 600,000 Chinese students in America, and we're right now in a trade war with them, and we're trying to get a better deal with them? Is this part of the better deal of you just letting in 600,000 of them? And then there's Elon, who does also abuse H-1B visas, because here's the problem about H-1B visas. They do undermine Americans by cheaper pay. So yeah, there's that as well. So I will give you that argument. When it does come to the whole H-1B visa, I'm against it, but it sounds like Trump is for it depending on who you're talking about.
Tax returns, and they're coming back and they're ending up getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more than they thought possible.
Mr. President, do you think the Pope was being do you think the Pope was being disrespectful to you, sir?
The who?
The Pope. Do you think he was being disrespectful to you?
I don't think about it that way. The Pope has to understand that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And the Pope has to understand that you can't let a country kill 42,000 protesters, totally unarmed protesters. You can't do that. So the Pope, you know, I know his brother. His brother's MAGA all the way. You know that. Louis is a great guy. But the Pope has to understand you're not allowed to kill 42,000 protesters who are totally unarmed. And you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, or the entire world could be gone. And, you know, when the Pope realizes that, I think we'll have a different understanding.
Mr. President, does energy dominance mean that Europeans should be buying more gas and oil from the United States?
Well, they should be buying more from us, and what they should be doing is using the North Sea. I can tell you, UK, I've been telling that to your Prime Minister, UK should open up the North Sea. It's one of the greatest in the world, and they should use it instead of buying oil from Norway and other places that use the same source. They should use it, and they're not doing it. They're doing windmills, and windmills do one thing. You know what they do? Put you out of business.
Mr. President, you recently talked to Mr. Erdogan or the regional leaders about...
I'll be real. The potential for green energy and windmills is there. It's just that, I'm be real with you, it's kind of being financed on the backs of the American people, and they definitely doing it in Europe as well, and the backs of them as well. It's kind of like worked into their electric bill. This whole green energy initiative is making energy more expensive on the people. That's the problem. It's not being utilized correctly, or I would say implemented correctly. This whole green energy or wind energy, because there's a lot of potential for it. There really is. We're just not using it right. And we're not making these ourselves either. So it's not like we're advancing them. We're getting them from China. And we just exposed how China was putting switchers under solar panels that they were sending us. So I don't even know why we even trust China to even keep buying them from them, or these solar panels and wind turbines. I don't know why we keep doing it. And if we are going to do it, maybe we should just start making them ourselves. Maybe we should do that instead of getting them from China. And I would encourage Europe to do the same damn thing.